Christmas from all of us here at the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park. Dave Rodman, along with Keith FEUSTLE, our morning line maker, and from Echo Base. We'll go through today's card here at Laurel Park on this Friday with a sunny start, Keith, to Christmas 2016 weekend. Winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. How about this weather? A little ice last week, but that's over with. It's going to be a nice weekend, and we're running tomorrow.
We are running tomorrow, the only show in town, basically. So we're going to welcome everybody. Maybe some West Coast will be settling in and watching the race here at Laurel Park. I know Caruli will probably be at the Westgate out in Vegas tuning us in. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, maybe some new fans tomorrow. Maybe they haven't checked out Laurel and get so for the first time as we're running tomorrow 12 noon post time on Christmas Eve, off Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, everybody. And then coming back to the track on Monday, December 26th for another live card here at Laurel Park. Track is fast today and lots of chances to win some money today. You've got a late pick 5 ticket we'll put up a little bit later on.
Yeah, late pick 5. This is a tough sequence of races all the way throughout the card. I thought it was tough trying to narrow it down. Only have a $48 ticket for that late pick 5. But yeah, you're going to have your sharpen your handicapping skills today on this card today, Saturday, and even on Monday's card. A tough stretch of races. They've done a good job keeping these fields big here. That's one thing in the wintertime. A lot of the tracks struggle. We haven't had that as of yet. So they're doing a great job right now, keeping these fields full, keeping it competitive and good for the bettors.
No, Santa Claus is coming to town, and he doesn't take credit. He wants cash for his presents, so let's win some cash today at Laurel Park. High of 47 degrees on this Friday afternoon. So let's get to the action, shall we?
Let's go. Yeah, track is fast. Like I say, partly cloudy. I mean, the sun's shining right now. Looks gorgeous.
It's supposed to cloud up a little later today, but looks of it, we're going to get away with a pretty nice afternoon here at Laurel Park. Maybe a little bit of a chance of rain tomorrow afternoon, but nothing of any consequence as far as we can tell. Keith, the first race is maiden special weight at 6 furlongs, and we have a late pick 5 ticket. We want to remind fans, though, we have 2 pick 5s here at Laurel Park. You won't have to wait long to play pick 5. The early pick 5, the first 5 races with a mandatory payout for the early pick 5.
And what a pick 5 it was. The last time we had racing here at Laurel Park, $5,000. I think it was $5,500 for that opening pick 5. And maybe some people are forgetting about the bet a little bit. If you have, you got to pay attention to that early bet. I think the pick 4, Dave, the early pick 4 paid $400, and to start it, only I think a 7-2 morning line ended up paying $1,580. Gotcha kick started. I had the winner on both ends, and I think the winner was from my top 3 picks in races 2, 3, and 4. I'm really discouraged. I did not play the ticket last time we were here on Sunday. So yeah, that was to my detriment, definitely. But yeah, we get started with a tough little maiden special weight, 6 furlongs for fillies and mares. Set to Dance is going to be your favorite coming in for Christophe Clement. A good race last time, went stretched out to a mile off of just that one sprint. Added the Lasix last time, Dave. I thought ran really, really hard. Was pestered by a 50-1 shot into the turn. Was able to go clear, but then here comes Tis a Diamond for Mary Epler. Was able to wear her down. But Set to Dance kept on very well to the wire. But the one thing we've seen here, down to the inside, hasn't really been the place to be. I know the track was fair on Sunday. The track was more off that day. We're going to see if it's going to go back to what it was over the last month and a half. Set to Dance will go from the inside, I believe. Tis Our Time is another speed factor. Has had plenty of chances, now 0 for 11. I think Snow Queen, Dave, showed a lot in her debut effort, October the 28th. Ran, actually closed into a nice headwind through the stretch. Really galloped out well, galloped out in front of the top 2. I think Holly Figgins give this horse plenty of time to regroup, a good work into this race. I think she's going to set up from mid-pack and make a good run to wear them down.
And again, with that outside flow, the way the track's been playing, certainly asset today for Snow Queen in her second start. You mentioned the one, Set to Dance, 40 cent to $1 beaten favorite by leading trainer Mary Epler's Tis a Diamond. She's 6 wins actually now, ahead of Hammy Smith coming into today's card with 21 wins, looking to become the first female trainer to win a Laurel Park meet is Mary Epler. We'll talk about her later, but Set to Dance, there have been 2 winners out of that race, so I guess a negative that she's inside today, but a positive. Alata, Marino, both out of that race to win.
Yeah, compare the internal fractions to her race at a mile and Tis Our Time. She actually ran quicker, she ran harder. She may not necessarily need the lead, made a little bit of a middle move at Belmont against a runaway winner. The only negative out of that Belmont race was the next out winner, I think, just won at Finger Lakes and really didn't beat a whole lot. But she keys up, she beats Perino, who had the best of Tis Our Time. and Double Sharp in this field. I think Snow Queen, though, is going to get a good trip. Double Sharp had a tough trip 2 races back when sprinting. I don't mind her on the turn back as well.
Yeah, Double Sharp chased that pace at Tis Our Time there when Marino went on to victory December the 11th, and I thought it was a legitimate pace for that group. It doesn't look fast, but it was a pretty good time there for the quarter, for the half, for the 3/4 of a mile, and then just kind of fell a little bit short there. She's 0 for 7 coming in, whereas Tis Our Time is 0 for 11 coming in, which is a cause for pause, I imagine.
Yeah, take your pick here. Let's just hope Snow Queen can kick on. She switched to her left lane, a little bit green through the lane late last time out. I think that a little helpful experience last time out will get her over the hump today.
6-1-7-2 in the opener for Keith. In the second race, they're going that 1-turn mile here at Laurel Park, $25,000 claimers for 2-year-old scratch number 8, Gold Braid. Interesting to see which way you went in the spot. Your 5-2 lukewarm morning line you made, Parade of Nations.
And I chalked it right up. I think Parade of Nations, tactical here, CB Bodemeister and Hattersbound, I think they just run against better horses more consistently. And Parade of Nations, the 2-back try was the one that caught my eye. He was a video spotlight last time out. He was caught against the dead inside on November the 11th after a little bit of a troubled beginning, a slower break, then had to stay at the quarter pole. Enjoyed the stretch out. I like the move right back up in class for Bernie Howden. I don't think it's a real significant move, but it's a confidence booster. He's really aggressively handled this horse, and it's paid dividends. Parade of Nations from just off the pace. I think he'll be poised to stalk the speed. Hattersbound will probably go. Tactical Hero very quick. I like Tactical Hero a little bit better today than Hattersbound, just for the fact of the switch in post positions. I think, playing the game the way this track has been playing, I'm going to hold true to that today. We'll see if it continues. We'll be outside stalking. Hattersbound is going to have to find a way further out.
Well, Hattersbound Parade of Nations could be looking at the early makings of the 1-turn Laurel Mile specialist. The horses here who happen to like that 1-turn mile. These are just 2-year-olds, and the good positive thing is both Parade of Nations, Hattersbound, have both won here at the 1-turn mile at Laurel Park. It's a tricky thing to do, especially for a young horse. So both of those runners having that 1-mile experience under their belt.
Yeah, one thing that caught my eye out of that November 26th race for Parade of Nations, 2-bit Drifter, the 3rd place finisher, had a real troubled trip that day, came back out of that race off the claim and was actually lower odds than Hattersbound. So I'm thinking, there's a respect for that race on the 26th. The play that 2-bit Drifter took off of the claim gives me, a little bit more confidence in the 9 Parade of Nations on this step. Bridge Builder, I thought the 2-horse, maybe you're better of the best price shot. I like this horse moving. You see, if you think Geopontes, you think Turf, Dave. No, the Geopontes have handled the dirt. You kind of just producing some younger horses right now. I think this horse fits fine. Dale Capuano's had a pretty good record over the last several years, stretching these horses out.
Again, a mile winner as his resident scholar here at Laurel Park. So 9, 6, 2, and 5 in race 2. The second leg of that early pick 5 with just a 12% takeout in both the early and late pick 5s here at Laurel Park. Industry low takeouts, a mandatory payout, and that early pick 5, the second race, also kicks off our first of 3 pick 4s this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Third race going 5.5 furlongs, maiden claimers, and we mentioned the inside a little earlier. At 5.5 furlongs, Just a Zip breaks from the inside, just to kind of underscore what we've been talking about here.
Right.
Post 1 at 5.5, 4 for 43 this year. 4 for 43 at 5.5 here at Laurel. It's only a 9% strike, and actually that's an improvement over in the last couple of weeks.
It's been tough because you're looking at trying to get position early. A lot of times at 5.5, if you don't have that quality speed, you get shuffled a little bit, and then all the other horses are moving wide past at 3/8, and you just don't have time to get out. I do like Just the Zip in this race a little bit. I think the speed just to the immediate outside with Nice Try will go ahead and go, and Irish Handcuffs outside of him has absolutely no speed at all.
He certainly can win the race.
I think he can kind of go up into the flow of the race by the turn and be able to get outside if needed, if that's the way the track is playing. And his race 3 back, Dave, over that good sealed surface, Concordia's way, we've seen him come back. Best, yes. Bourbon and Beer came out of that race to win recently, run a buyer of 59.
And Ice on the Severn came back a dirt winner here at Laurel Park here just recently, a few days ago.
Yeah.
So certainly inside post, not the best of posts, but given this field, he can win. But I can see maybe why you hedged a bit to the outside here to triple blackjack.
Yeah, Charlie's Darlin, a deep closer. Charlie Hustle, to his outside, to his inside on the 9 post. It just really hasn't faced toughest company. I think Triple Blackjack, this is my final shot with him. They sprinted him 2 back on the turf. He showed really good speed. He was game as can be to the wire. Tried to stretch him out. I used him. He just got the last eighth of a mile. He wanted no parts of it. The last time we saw him on dirt, he was acting, crazy behind the gate. He was acting up. You see the comment there in the short comment, unruly gait faltered. You go back to his 2-year-old speed, numbers. They're good enough. He ran fast enough, quick internals. I don't think he necessarily needs to lead, but I think he's the type of horse, Dave, against these type of maidens, can make a sharp move around a turn, open up some daylight, and last the last 16th
Especially
of a mile.
against deep closers like a Irish Handcuffs. That was a hot pace last time out for maiden 16 on the turf, and a winner out of their Irish Major.
Right.
Silver Starship came back to run second in a photo finish here, going the 1-turn mile.
That was behind Bourbon and Beer, right? They went 1-2 all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Triple Blackjack, your top pick.
Yeah, Irish Handcuffs. He can't really take anything. 3 straight seconds. He just comes from so far back. The turn back to 5.5, and the lack of real true speed in here concerns me for the 3. It's going to be a shorter price.
As is a concern for number 10, Charlie's
Yeah.
Darlin, who's basically plotting early and hoping for a furious pace up front. Don't know where that pace is going to come from.
Liked him last time. He did not get up in time. It's going to go first time for Craig Nicholson, who's had some luck, over the years getting horses first time.
They're careful with the claims, and
Yeah.
this could be a claim that finds dividends for them right off the bat.
Yeah.
All right, that's the first 3 keys, 7-1, 3-10 on the third. More to come here on Today at the Races. We'll be back in just a moment with a closer look, and Keith's got a late pick 5 ticket for you later.
January 28th at Gulfstream Park, an icon takes flight. The world's richest thoroughbred horse race. 12 of the sport's finest horses. One race. $12 million on the line. Watch, wager, witness. Go to PegasusWorldCup.com for more.
Back on Today at the Races for a closer look at the Friday program here at Laurel Park. A reminder, post time tomorrow. Yes, Christmas Eve will be running here. The only track in the nation running 12 noon post time tomorrow. And maybe a stocking stuffer tomorrow afternoon. And we talked about this off the air. Won't give it out until tomorrow and Today at the Races, so watch early tomorrow. But you've got a little bit of stocking stuffer today, so maybe some dividends this weekend early
maybe
with a long shot in the 4th race.
Maybe we can kind of get you back to the store. Fill your pockets up. You can buy a couple extra presents. This 4th race, Dave, 5.5 furlongs, fillies and mares, 3 in life. This is a really, really tough race. This starts our 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 with a carryover of $700. And this is a tough race to get it started. I went around and around and around in this race, and I wasn't super confident, so I'm going to fall to a price in race number 4. And I think the Blues Dancer just might fit it. Leo the champion, it might be time for Leo. 5% for the year. Let's get him one more win. This is a race that looks like it's just going to absolutely fall apart in the final 16th of a mile, Dave. You see there's questionable speed types abound. Singo, Chippy, Time to Spare has a little bit of speed, Mattered by the Minute. First to Fire, Nana Joe. Everybody kind of looks like they want to be up towards the front. So the Blues Dancer. 4 starts at the distance, a win in a second, a buyer of 55. A 55 is going to win this race, if I had to really predict. You look at the race, first time off the claim, they try to stretch her out on the turf, and she really pretty much maintained form. I was okay with that race. The 2-back try, good. Dancing Dene came back to gallop against open $5,000 company. I think this filly wants 5.5. Maybe 6 might be just the right distance. I'm not going to let her beat me at a big price. Could 12, 15, 20 to 1 maybe for this barn that just absolutely doesn't get really respect at all at the windows.
One darkened form off the claim, but that was on the turf, and now back sprinting with a good possible pace scenario set up. Some suspicious droppers, such as the 4 Cinco Zippy, who was claimed for $30,000 as a 2-year-old. Now she's in for $4,500. Off of a dull race, but a productive race there. There have been 3 winners out of Cinco Zippy's last start, but I think looks like you're thinking that maybe she's a history lesson in this spot and going with the off the pace.
Once again, down towards the inside. First to Fire is in very good form for Tony Aguirre. She's actually run a couple decent dirt races. The 3-back try on the dirt, she's going to have to improve off of that. Include Gold did come back to run a 56, winning at Penn, stretching out. Another badge intrigues me a little bit for trainer Linda Albert. It really hasn't panned out. Interesting if there's any kind of equipment change. This horse was first originally, I guess, blinkers off back on a canceled day. The blinkers must be staying on. I was hoping the blinkers would come off. She looks to be better with the blinkers off, but I think she's a type just needs to take back, settle middle of the pack, and make a run. I think the transition back to the dirt course is going to help the chances of the 1A.
Well,
another badge.
If there's any speed that maybe can stay in the race, it's number 12,
Yes.
Antietam Creek, right? I mean, she looks like she's got some kind of stamina, even with the pace numbers going in her favor, and maybe even getting a little bit of a test up front in the opening half mile.
No doubt. She doesn't necessarily need it if the track's going to continue to play the way it's been playing. I think she'll be able to sit, you know, a length or two off of it if need be, and then go ahead and make them. The one thing we haven't seen is speed stay over this racetrack. That's not really the place to. We haven't seen a lot of wire-to-wire winners.
Right, right. And so, yeah, she's got that outside path and beat Color Me Sexy. Color Me Sexy actually beat her last time they met there on October the 8th. But on Color Me Sexy, the 5 horses positive as she ran third behind Balabusta. That was the second of 3 straight wins for the Phil Schoenthal trained filly there, who's now in a real hot streak at a lower level here at Laurel Park.
Interesting move. This horse was in good form. They dropped from the 10,000 right to the 5. Fairstyle, they reaching claim. She doesn't run too bad November 24th. But she's once again, she's down inside. Fairstyle, he's 1 for 9 off the claim on the dirt over the last couple years. I think she and Antietam Creek are definitely the horses to beat. I think you've got to go for a price in here. Maybe even Northern Prancer. Darius Thorpe really gets along well with this filly, but she's going to have to run faster than what she's run.
And get out,
and she's
and get
down
outside,
there, right?
and
She's going to probably get really sucked back further off the pace, so maybe than what she wants to be.
But
today.
the Mary Epler factor leading trainer possibly can overcome that inside situation here at Laurel Park. Everything she sends out, you've got to take a second look at. Alrighty, 11, 1A, 12, and 3 in the 4th.
Try to blow it up.
Fifth race starts our late pick 5. The early pick 5 is a mandatory payout carryover potential in the late pick 5, starting with a clean slate. And you do have a pick 5 suggestion ticket for our late pick 5 races 5 through 9. No singles on a $48 ticket.
Absolutely not. If you've got a single or two, please come down here and see us before the races. And this ticket could have been huge. I'm keeping the cost down at $48. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, and then we're going to go 6 deep in the last. I think the last race is wide open. I hedge a little bit towards Lacey Gaudette's horse, but the form has just been so spotty for all of these horses. I think you've got to spread around here. Going consistency with those two selections in races 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Is 7 your top pick there in the 5th? 7 slide by you.
Slide. No, I've got back to Seattle.
Back to Seattle
for Schoenthal.
Okay.
Schoenthal. Right. Yeah, we'll take a look at race 5, 5.5, 3 in life for the boys.
Okay. And blinkers on. Phil Schoenthal, gelding. He's used a lot of this type of angle lately, I've noticed.
Yes, he has.
First time gelding, first time Lasix, adding the blinkers.
Whatever he's doing is working. So
it's working,
he's hitting a really good
25%
rate.
strike rate. But I've noticed just that little bit of a pattern from that barn there. So back to Seattle, maybe with the outside flow, getting up.
Same thing. I mean, we're going to stick to it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think back to Seattle. He's going to have to improve off of his prior dirt races at Laurel back on September the 11th and October the 8th. I think he can. He's really kind of moved into good form on the turf for trainer Phil Schoenthal. And Tomashachi, off of that October 8th race at Laurel's, come back to run 3 big efforts since. I like keying up off of that horse. I think back to Seattle. You look back at some of his dirt numbers. He can hedge up into the 60s. He's running the 80s prior. He's not going to need that kind of number. Some mid-60, 65 should get it done.
And third, Lanier, last time out, a horse we'll see in action, I think, this weekend. Is really good form and an interesting horse. So back to Seattle. So the 7 and the 13 on your first leg of the pick 5, essentially your top 2 picks here. Either way.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw in the 12. I'm Charming. Where'd that race come from at 80 to 1? I don't know. He was on the best part of the track on December 2nd, where he beat Slide By You. He finished in front of him. I'm Charming made a real menacing move. Looked like a winning move top of the stretch, but then all of a sudden here comes first time Mary Epler to dare. Triple net was a big dropper. So that's when I can kind of maybe believe that number of a 69. This horse has run mid-60s in the past, and he actually has paired up numbers. So he gets a favorable draw today.
Back with the Prince-Ana Caro, who got along with him
Yeah.
quite well for that third-place finish at double-digit odds and almost a blow-up win. Shook, number 9, always a dangerous speed factor if he can get clear in the spot.
Yeah, he's a real question mark. The Frock's sitting there. It's going to be a big price hedging back up. He was 18-1 last time. I think he'll settle in about that range today, but he was used very hard early, down on the worst part of the racetrack. I'm putting a line through that race. The two-back race is good enough to put him into the mix, Dave.
Heavenly Hayes adding the blinkers, number 10, braking just to his outside. It might just be his little pest at some point in the far turn run, but meaning that back to Seattle will probably be in a good spot to pounce, as will the 12, as will the 7. 13, 7, 12, and 9, but only using the 7 and 13 on Keith's $48 late pick 5 ticket, our 5th on the program at 5.5 furlongs. On the 6th race, scratch 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, and 13. Interesting that movie Starlet scratched out of there. Thought you might get a little bit of play in that spot, and some of the speed out of there maybe with 5 o'clock somewhere. So kind of changed the race a little bit with the 6 scratches out of here. 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, and 13 from the 6.
Yeah, a couple of these I think might be re-entered, so keep an eye on
They were re-entered, not scratched for any specific reason other than that.
Okay, so yeah, we had to go back to the drawing board. Movie Starlight I was going to use, and once I looked at it, I said, boy, I probably got this horse lined a little bit too high at 8. I'll have to, adjust next time she runs. But Crisis Averted is who I'm going to come back to. Just the barn that moves from turf to dirt almost at 30% with a really nice ROI of over $3.50. Last time this horse was seen on the dirt, October the 29th, it really wasn't a bad race. Had a tough trip into a decent pace. Kind of fell apart late the last 1/8 of a mile. Staff Sergeant Reckless, Holiday Blues, those horses have come back to run well, Dave. I think she's just faced better horses. She doesn't necessarily need the lead, and that's the toughest part for me this race. Who goes to the front if you're looking, Dave?
Not sure.
Yeah.
5 o'clock comes somewhere is out.
Yeah. I'm thinking Sophia Town. Maybe the race kind of, it kind of falls into her lap up on the front end with all of the scratches, the 10.
Off turf numbers, I kind of had self-determination, the 12 horse with a little bit of lick, but who knows whether that'll materialize. You didn't show it at Penn last time out. But, that's kind of a turf to dirt horse. Has been on the turf 4 out of last 6 tries and did show some early pace on the synthetic at Presque Isle Downs.
Yeah, this is a tricky little race. Crisis where these horses are all going to come down majorly off of the morning line. Sophia Town, the race. I think the race is going to have to go through her around the turn. Last time out, she was in a good part of the track, needed that race. An aggressive drop for Kieran, second time off of a little break. The 6 furlongs is the question mark. I'd like her maybe a little bit better at 5.5.
All right, and hopefully you can get through the second leg of the pick 5 there. 410, 7, and 6, he said. Okay, on to the 7th race in the program. A little video spotlight coming up. In the 7th, scratch the 1A BA Messenger at 7 furlongs. Big field. Should be a good wagering race here. Looking for a big handle on the 7th race today.
No doubt.
Who's your spotlight horse?
All right, we're going to kick off at our late pick 3. Visual Effect for the Mary Epler barn. You're going to catch right there, down towards the rail with the white and the red cap. This horse had to steady about a 1/16 of a mile after the break and was pinned down inside. We don't have to say it again. Not the best part of the beat. This horse actually had a little bit of run right here. Couldn't really catch up. Had to steady, leaving the 3/16 pole. You see the leaders going on with it. Iredell was in this race. Iredell just misses with a lunge at the wire. Just couldn't quite get past Grecian Prince. We're going to see Iredell in this race today. But I want you to watch if we hold through, well, we didn't hold through the gallop out, but going through the gallop out, if you pick things up, okay, there's Grecian Prince in the purple, right there on the rail. There's Mary Epler's horse. There's Visual Effect. This horse wants the extra ground, Dave. Thanks, guys, for showing that. Was up to him. I know a lot of people on the gallop out, they get fooled a little bit. This horse had run, was on the worst part of the racetrack. A good effort sustaining a run in its debut. Light on experience, but I think this move to the outside is going to help this horse a clean break. You're going to get a much better price on the 8 Visual Effect than you're on Iredell, who's clearly going to be the favorite in here, I believe. A good effort, drops down from that optional 25, an aggressive move. This horse has improved with blinkers, and the flow of this race is really going to be to his liking. There's not a ton of speed. I kind of see him making a move, getting clear around the turn, but he's going to have to look in his rearview mirror. I think Visual Effect has a good chance at a price to run him down late.
A couple of droppers in here. Trombetta's dropping to Gwynn Oak Park down to the 9 level after a couple allowance races, 2 back. Even Cold Spice back to the 10 now, when he's at 2 after a 16. Interesting horse as well. That horse comes out of a triple key race, 2 back, October 29th. Last time he was on the dirt. He's got some early speed too. But a good pickup there on visual effect. Number 8, your top pick. On the video replay, something to look at in the 7th race.
Yeah, beaten 6 lengths. I think he could have been closer. Like I said, down on the worst part of the racetrack. Cold Spice and Fire Sparks. Fire Sparks from the rail, I think, has no alternative. He's got to go from the inside. The question mark horse for me, Dave, would be one more shot. The 10 horse for Jamie Ness. Didn't really know how to line this horse. Has he just thrown in the towel now, or did he not like Charlestown? I don't know what to do with this horse. You look at his debut race at Tampa a year ago to the day, galloped, beating True Arch, who's come back to beat these same horses.
Kind of a hodgepodge mix kind of a race.
It is.
It could produce a long shot here in the 7th race. Number 8, your top pick at 12. 6 in here, Gwynn Oak Park, the aforementioned Trombetta dropper.
Yeah, this horse looked like he was going to have some ability. He just really hasn't panned out. He bumped around a little bit early last time out. He just did not. He was in the best part of the track. He was dead within range at the quarter pole and did not show any finish.
Alrighty, it's a 7th race on Today at the Races, sponsored by Fidelity First, as we're 46 minutes out to post time, and the 8th on the program. Another interesting race and another video spotlight horse. No scratches in the 8th, going at 2 turns, mile to 16th. Jeezum Jim beat How's Your Sugar last time out. Well, on paper, right? You've got to use Jeezum Jim. Yes or no?
You have to. Enough is enough comes out of the same race. These 3, they exit the state bred allowance, and Jeezum Jim allowing to come back into this, gets this condition because of winning the restricted race.
However,
moreover, we're going to try to beat Jeezum. You see Jeezum Jim, the 10 horse there in the blue silks, 3 wide, and he was just, in the best part of the track under a nice hold, and he just kind of cruises to the lead. Off of that, win prior to that, same kind of tactics was outside. Look at the fractions here, 25, 50, 15. There's the 4. There's the 10, Jeezum Jim. You pick up the 4, Mary Epler's horse, which is going to be my top selection, the gray. Enough is enough. He was pinned down inside for pretty much 3/4 of a mile. He was struggling against the grain of the racetrack that day. He's just trying his heart out here once he gets out to the 8th pole. But you're going 50, 15. He's not going to catch these horses, Dave. I'm hoping for a little bit more flow today. Maybe the Tis a Chance for Grand Motion goes. I think Enough is enough. Reverts back, gets a better draw towards the outside. He won't be pinned down inside. I think he can turn the tables on Jeezum Jim and How's Your Sugar.
Yeah, I mean, How's Your Sugar certainly can turn the tables on Jeezum. It was just ahead of your pick there. Of Enough is Enough last time out. And again, against the grain, the 25 and 2, the 50 and 2. We've seen this horse run. He likes a little more pace suitable to his late kick, late style, afterburner action in the last furlong.
And I think he's going to get it today. I think Courtney Song, he has shown the ability to come from off the pace. He was beaten clearly by Enough is Enough 3 back. I think he's going to go try to get early position. It's the journey, same thing. And the question mark, Tis a Chance, who's going to be racing with a hood, has shown speed, was against the bias on December 26th at Aqueduct. Inside was not really good that day. Speed wasn't great, and it took a lot of pressure. So I think we'll have a little bit better flow for Enough is Enough. And How's Your Sugar? He's just a stayer. He's a check getter. He hangs around. You watched Karamanos last time. He was just hustling this horse the whole way around the racetrack, and he kept on trying.
He's 2 turns dirt. He's a turf horse, and he's a 1-turn mile horse. A really nice horse.
Nice type of horse to own, no doubt.
What about the resurrection year of Ghost Bay, number 8? And Larry Murray now retired as a trainer, so a lot of these horses from the Benders winding up in various barns around the Mid-Atlantic region here in Maryland. And Ghost Bay, I thought, would run a lot better last time out sprinting, but they just kind of got away from him early.
Yes,
he's just not that fast early. He's more suited to the 2-turn distance, and he's run some big races behind Sea Raven, behind Yoloman, back at Pimlico, back in midsummer, June 4th there, and a tough field of sprinters last time out. So you maybe take one more revisit to Ghost Bay from that outside.
I think that last race at 18-1, it shows you how tough of a race that was, Dave, because he's run okay sprinting, and I thought it would be a good setup and he'd make a little bit more run. But Nicardillic Rock, Saratoga, Heater, Joy Drive, that was a good field. He's going to appreciate the stretch out back to the 2 turns. You see he's running right behind C. Raven, who's been competitive in 2 other than company. Yeah, you're going to get a better price because of that race. It dirtied up his form enough, I believe.
Yeah, by the time his mind gets on running, the race is over. Sprinting, now he did win sprinting, so to speak, in the Maryland Juvenile Futurity last a couple of years ago as a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Remember that day? I do. It was like a 19-wide day here at Laurel. It was a wide day and kind of took advantage of the bias. Did overcome a lot of trouble to win. That kind of helped his cause a little bit. But you see, he closed from double digits off sprinting as a 2-year-old over this track, going 6 furlongs. 2 turns, much better deal here for Ghost Bay.
Yeah.
All righty, on to the 9th race, as we're almost out of time on today at the races, making good time and progress, and hopefully you will be alive to several horses in your late pick 5 ticket, because you see this race as more than just a dropper or 2.
Yeah, this is a bumpy road, this late pick 5. There's no doubt about it. There's some obstacles all the way around. We're going to try to get here with a $48 ticket.
Scratch 4, 10, 15, and 16 of the 9th race. Still big field, mile, and still difficult.
Dirt, a lot of droppers going turf to dirt. Who wants to get a mile on the dirt? Nobody really knows. I think Zendrea comes out of a better race June the 7th. Going to go first time on the dirt for training Lacey Gaudet. That race June 7th at Parks. Tangera and My Country, they came back to run really strong. Tangera, a winner, running a 78 buyer next out. 3rd place finisher, My Country, a 68 buyer. At least they're proven dirt horses. And I've gone back to look at some of these other horses who they've keyed up on. They haven't gone on to do much on the dirt. That's what's going to kind of lead me to Zendrea. We caught Gomez and Lacey Gaudet a couple weeks ago, I believe, with Star Touch in the last race. That's the name of the horse, Star Touch? Yeah, at a decent price.
The second Star Touch, the previous one trained by Lacey's father, who was a stakes winner.
That's right.
A long time ago. Yeah.
So we'll go with Zendrea. A little price shot, Caronto Hill, just for the fact McCarthy is going here. I like the wake up there. You know, McCarthy is the right type of rider. He's kind of a lazy horse, needs to be carried to the wire. He's going to settle in at an okay price as well.
Well, I see you've got a little Carantoul in here.
Yeah,
Carantoul.
yeah.
Carantoul. You know, wow, I don't know what happened to him. You remember that when he drifted out in that race 2 back? Maybe she is just a better dirt horse. It's first time fast track dirt with the blinkers. For Carantoul. Maybe they've made some adjustments. But the horse absolutely loomed like a winner around the turn, and then pulled his drifting act, was a cinch to be on the board, and finished 4th, beaten 9 lengths behind Storiana. So I don't know what's going on with her, but she's run some really good races, enough to win.
No, like I say, Include Gold came out of that race, and she went up and ran a 56 buyer at Penn, going long on the stretch out. That race suits. Glenn Flores had to give McCarthy a story. Hopefully it was a good one, and hopefully it follows. You know, they follow through with a good price. I think this horse could win it.
Yeah, 4 on there. What were your horses in the late pick 5 again?
The other 2 I threw in. I threw the.
I was just interested to see what you did with
I Am
My
a Dancer,
Sangria.
and I did throw that horse in. Yeah, that horse is in.
Yeah, she's kind of like your top pick. You know, turf dirt kind of horse in there. My Sangria from the Campitelli barn, dropping in for the 10, and first time on the dirt since the Gulfstream run on the slop for maiden 25.
I just comparatively didn't like the horses that she faced on the dirt when they've come back to try it. Haven't run nearly as well as as Zendrea, our top selection, had faced.
All right, we've done some homework, and now we'll see if it pays off this afternoon in 38 minutes. That's it for today at the races. Thanks, Keith, and we'll be back in just a few moments with a closer look at your program changes for this Friday card. Good luck.
Good luck.